Hey everybody, this is the PixelBlips podcast for June 16th, 2013. This is actually our E3 wrap-up show. So today we're going to be talking about Nintendo, then we'll talk about Microsoft, then we'll talk about third parties, and we're going to end on Sony. And I think you are all intelligent enough to know why we're ending on Sony.
Because they went last, right?
Yeah, they went last. Dropped the mic. Anyway, so if you haven't seen the intro video, we are in new digs. This is my office. We've kind of had to adjust to some outside elements. But we're here, and we're going to be posting these all week, so keep coming back. Joining me as always is Dave DeWart, the co-hostess with the most... Wait a minute. Hostess.
I love Hostess cakes.
You have a cream filling. Anyway, so
Wait a minute.
Dave, we're not going to do... Let's not do what you played. We'll kind of make this new. So we didn't talk about Nintendo before E3.
No, we did not.
But we're going to talk about Nintendo first to make up for it.
Okay.
Because they actually did some stuff that I liked. So
yeah, I mean, they didn't... they had, like, something. Like, they had an event at the show. I didn't get to see it. I just never got a chance to look at it. But I did watch their Nintendo Direct, right?
Yeah, I watched their Nintendo Direct, which the stream was super buggy. I had to watch it later.
I watched it Thursday afternoon.
People were just slamming that stream.
Well, you know, people love Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
It's Nintendo. Everybody grew up with a NES or a Super NES in their house.
There's a lot of NES stuff behind me.
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
Yeah. Some Famicom cards back there too.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so what did Nintendo do that you liked, Dave?
I mean, they showed us a bunch of games. I love the fact that they're now putting Mega Man and Super Smash Bros. I don't care so much about the Wii Fit trainer and the villager from Animal Crossing.
That's one thing when they announced the villager from Animal Crossing. I was like, what? Was Tom Nook busy?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, they already
everyone wants to fight Tom Nook. Like, come on.
Yeah, I know. Maybe he'll be a boss.
KK Slider. Like, you can get KK Slider? Like, but it's the villager. It's that nondescript character that you all are.
But he's got that. He's got. He's like a Lego guy, right? He's got that smiley face, but he can do so much evil.
Yeah.
He's always happy to do.
According to the gifs on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed that it was the villager and not Tom Nook or KK Slider.
Yeah. But you know.
But then they brought out Wii Fit Girl, and I was like, oh, sure.
Okay. And then after the trailer rolls over, they're like, a new challenger approaches, and
I was like, what?
It's totally the Capcom thing.
And I was just like, wait a minute, are they gonna bring like Street Fighter in on this?
They're putting Mega Man.
Mega Man, it's so great. I was like.
It's like the Mega Man 8 Mega Man, right? Like the hand drawn animated Mega Man. It looks really good though.
That was also in Mega Man 7
mm-hmm.
for
the Super NES.
The Super NES. Looks really good. Looks really awesome. I loved the trailer and how they were like him using all his different abilities.
Yeah, where he can change it. He can do the different like Robot Master skills.
Yes. Like for one thing, they showed the metal blade bouncing off Link's high rolling shield,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, the metal blade cut through that like cheese, man.
Well,
what are you talking about? It's the metal blade.
Well, Link's shield, you know,
it's the metal blade. It's the metal blade.
Yeah. Okay. You could say that would bounce off Captain America's shield too, but they don't have that guy in the game, so it doesn't matter. Anyway,
metal blade would bounce off vibranium. Vibranium's vibration neutral. It would just hit it and die.
Okay.
This is true.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with your Marvel lore.
So anyway, yes, Mega Man in Smash Brothers. Like, my first thought was, oh my god, it's amazing. And my second thought was, why hasn't this happened before? And my third thought was, oh wow, that's like I actually want to play that game now.
Yeah. And what's gonna happen when Kirby sucks up Mega Man?
Apparently, that is 100% under wraps. Like they were saying, we are not talking about Kirby's abilities when he sucks at Mega Man.
He's gonna get the Mega Man helmet, right?
Yeah.
And he'll probably get a Mega Buster.
Yeah.
He'll get to shoot at guys.
You know what would be really awesome?
Hmm.
What if he turned into Zero?
That'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
Like
I would
Instead of getting like when you have everybody choose Mega Man, one of them is Zero and he gets the blade and all that.
No. But like, so that's how you unlock Zero in the game is you have to use Kirby to suck up Mega Man and then he turns into Zero.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, and that's the only way to play Zero.
For those of you who aren't like crazy into Mega Man lore, apparently Zero is the next version of Mega Man that Dr. Light like put under wraps before the like 70 years between when the Mega Man series happens and when the X series happens.
Huh. That's cool though.
That would blow my mind. And then like Kirby gets like the lightsaber thing and the Buster Knuckle and stuff. And be like, yeah,
that'd be awesome.
That won't happen. No. But I'm happy that Mega
Man.
Capcom's
licensing one character. Why two?
I'm happy that Mega Man is in Smash Brothers. Yeah. I was a little disappointed when they said like, don't expect this to be a ton of third-party characters.
Yeah, because then that would just open up the doors.
Yeah, they're like, we're not doing what we did with Brawl, where we had like Snake and Sonic and stuff. Like, this is probably only going to be Mega Man.
Yeah.
Don't get your hopes
And they've
up.
also said that the new Smash Brothers is going to be somewhere between Brawl and Melee, right?
Yeah,
Like
in terms
somewhere
of speed.
Speed and gameplay style.
Which is, I really like Melee. I really don't like Brawl. So
it might be good.
that's me.
But we don't have Wii U, so we won't know.
Yes. So the other thing that I thought, well, I would buy a Wii U for that, was Super Mario World 3D.
Yeah, their new Super Mario World game, because it's like Super Mario 2, the
Yes.
one that we got here in the U.S. where it was Doki Doki Panic with the conversion over it, and it looks really neat. Like Peach and Luigi can still jump higher than everybody. Toad can still run faster than
Luigi
everybody.
still does that little feet kick in the air.
Well, yeah. It's really neat. It looks really cool. I've only seen the little bits of footage that they put out from E3, but so far I'm like, all right, I would take that.
New power up, the cat suit.
Which I want to kind of know how that's gonna work. If you can like climb walls with that or something.
They've shown him like scampering up a wall and then like holding on and slowly dragging the nails down.
Oh, like Garfielding a
I was like, that looks great. That looks like I was really pleased with that when they first showed it. Like unlike when they first showed Smash Brothers, I wasn't all for it.
Yeah.
And then they showed Mega Man, and I was for it. When they first showed Super Mario World 3D, is that what we're calling it?
I don't know what it is. I think it's also.
You wrote notes.
Yeah, I didn't write that down. I didn't get that far.
I know it was Super Mario Land 3D.
Something like
the 3DS.
that.
And this is like a sequel to that, but it's not in 3D.
Yeah, it's their new 3D Mario game. So that's cool. I mean, it looks neat, and I probably won't buy if I'm going to ever get a
If I ever get a Wii U, that will be the first game I buy.
If I ever get a Wii U, it'll be the HD Zelda that they put out. They also showed a lot of Wind Waker stuff.
They said, like, remember last time we were like, this is what we'd want from like a Wind Waker HD edition, like extra that extra dungeon that you guys cut out, the Master Quest type stuff. They're saying that it's none of that.
They're just saying faster sailing, and they're gonna like kind of shrink the map a little bit so you don't have to sail so far.
And we're gonna try and do the Tingle Tuner thing inside your pad. And I was like, well, that's a really crappy HD conversion.
Yeah. Well,
the good news is like when they do the HD conversion, like they are adding new textures, like that's good.
Yeah. They're removing updating some of the older textures.
Yeah, so that's good. So like if you want Wind Waker, buy it on the GameCube. But if you don't have a GameCube,
and you
can still play it on a Wii. But if you can't get a hold of Wind Waker, like this is funny because like Wind Waker HD, is going to be $60.
Probably,
and, like, Wind Waker complete in the box, like I've seen it for $30.
Yeah,
like regular, like
because it's one of the it's the love it or hate it Zelda. It wasn't the best Zelda out of the series. Some people would say that it wasn't the best selling Zelda out of the series for sure.
I like it,
but it was one of those love it or hate it ones, right? Like, so there's the market of people who
I'm just saying like the people that want Wind Waker.
Yes.
Can go get Wind Waker for $30.
Yeah, you can. If you have a GameCube, you can get Wind Waker for fairly cheap.
Or if you have a Wii, first generation Wii for the GameCube gets out of it. Like it's just weird to me that Nintendo's doing this and not adding a lot of
extra content,
extra stuff.
Yeah,
stuff. Give us more stuff.
We want some stuffs for our monies.
But back to Super Mario World 3D. Like I really love the catsuit, and remember a couple of months ago we were talking about like feminism in gaming, and I said like, why isn't Peach a playable character anymore? That's really stupid. And boom, Peach is a playable character. She has a special floating ability, just like we talked about in Super Mario 2. And I was just like, great, you guys did an awesome job.
Well,
on that. Just you've sold me just from what you've shown. I thought the Smash Brothers stuff was underwhelming. I thought the Wind Waker stuff was underwhelming. That got me excited.
Yeah,
Super Mario World. If you have a Wii U, that's a reason to be excited for your Wii U.
Yeah, unless you really, really, really want to buy Wind Waker again.
Well,
and if you've never played Wind Waker, like I've never played Wind Waker. I don't own a GameCube. I don't have a Wii U. I'm sure I could find a way to play it if I really wanted to. But if I had a Wii U, that would be one of the games that I would want to buy for it, just because it's like, hey, it's Wind Waker. It's a new Zelda to me, and it's probably a new Zelda to a lot of people who picked up Zelda in a different. At a different time.
Yeah,
like that have been playing the Game Boy ones. Yeah. And the re-releases on the GBA and the 3DS and stuff like that. So, and they did show some more of the 3DS Legend of Zelda too.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. Calm down.
Okay.
We want to talk about the Wii U. So the last thing we want to talk about with the Wii U is Mario Kart 8.
Well, they also talked about the new Yoshi's Island and Donkey Kong again. Like
I forgot about
the Donkey Kong. I don't know if it's Donkey Kong Country Returns or what.
Here's what I have to say about Mario Kart 8. Did you like Mario Kart 7?
Never really played Mario.
If
Kart
you liked
7.
Mario Kart 7, you will like Mario Kart 8.
It's more
that
more
is
of
literally
that.
like what they've said though. Like this is the exact same thing but more.
Now you can write on walls for certain areas.
And I think
like
it kind of goes to a lot of people were saying like Nintendo's playing it too safe.
Mhm.
They're playing.
Well, they're throwing out all their first parties and everything that says Mario in it. Right?
Yeah.
Like you have your Mario Kart game. The only thing I didn't see was a Mario Party game. Right?
Yeah, man.
Like,
I would love a Mario Party on the Wii. That would work great with the
Wii U
touchpad.
Yeah,
the Wii U.
that'd be neat. And maybe that's something they're going to kick out next year. The
next
problem
year.
with all these games that they're showing is none of it's coming out until next year, really.
Well, Super Mario World 3D, which is what we're just gonna call
Mhm.
it, even though every time I say that I think
it's
of the
got
Super
some
Nintendo
weird
version.
name onto it. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
the one with the cat suit that comes out for Christmas. Wii U comes. Wind Waker U comes out for Christmas.
You
Donkey
sure?
Kong comes out for Christmas on
Most of
download.
that, if I'm pretty sure most of these games are coming out either. Some of them are coming out by Christmas, but I heard a lot of them. At the very least, Smash Brothers is coming out next year.
I've heard Smash
And
Bros.
Mario Kart is
2014,
coming out.
Mario Kart's 2014,
Like
but
a
I'm saying,
couple of
like-
games that I would want to play.
Hmm.
Like I liked Smash Brothers. I played the hell out of the original. I
Mhm.
didn't really ever play the GameCube and the Wii versions.
I played all Melee. That was in college. Like we played Melee,
Um,
like Halo, Melee, GoldenEye,
Yeah.
freaking Red Faction. Like
Mhm.
that was your day.
yeah, that is a good afternoon, especially if you
Um,
throw some booze in there.
Yeah, college dorms. Anyway, so, brain fart. What were we
3DS.
talking- Yeah, 3DS. There we go.
Yeah,
oh
we're
no,
gonna
Mario
move-
Kart.
We're
Mario Kart 8.
talking
yeah,
about
so,
Mario Kart, and then
So with the Wii U, they seem to be playing it really safe.
Yes.
Even Retro, one of their best second-party studios, they had on another Donkey Kong Country game, which I've never been really a big fan of the Donkey Kong Country games, so that's not that
Yeah,
interesting
they're
to me. But I'm a big fan of Metroid Prime, and to
Yeah.
hear that they weren't doing Metroid Prime,
they weren't doing any Metroids at all.
yeah, it was like stab in my heart area. Just
Yeah.
killing me, Nintendo, killing
I
me.
mean, and they also showed some Pikmin stuff. Like if you
Yeah,
like
Pikmin.
Pikmin,
Pikmin,
you
I've
know.
never really been a fan of.
I've never really played a game, so I couldn't tell you if I was a fan of it or not. It looks
I
like an
played it on
interesting little
GameCube.
game. Like it's kind of neat.
Pikmin for me is just like Animal Crossing. Like when a new one comes out, I'm like, oh yeah, Pikmin. I remember playing that and liking it. And then like once I start playing it for a while, I'm
It's
like,
it's the same game with
yeah, I don't really
some new stuff. Maybe
like. I'll play like I keep trying to go back and play Animal Crossing a lot, but I just can't get
back into
myself
it.
back into that mind zone of like, okay, I have to do all this stuff. And
Yeah.
same thing with Pikmin. I just can't go back to that spot where I was when I first played it, where I can do that stuff with like Zelda and Super Mario and
Yeah.
the Metroid games. Like there are so many things in the recent Mario titles that I let go just because I'm like, oh, I just loved it when I was a kid. And it's
Mhm.
nostalgia.
Yeah.
And then I don't have that for Donkey Kong Country or Animal Crossing or Pikmin. So
That's okay.
I wanted a Metroid Prime. They gave me Metroid Prime.
Yeah. Well, they might. Yeah, I would have liked
How
to
hard
have
would it have
seen.
been to been like Metroid Fusion for the 3DS?
I would have liked to seen them make a. It sounds really weird, but I like see them make a third-person cover-based shooter out of Metroid. Like you could kind of see them going that route if they really wanted to. With the way that Gears sold, with the way that Uncharted sells,
Can you just superimpose a troll face right here? Because this is going to be this way for the.
I can totally put that on there.
There's nothing more abhorrent to me than third person cover based Metroid is like.
Well, I mean, you could see it happening though, right? Because those kinds of games sell.
That's true.
And
Uncharted and Gears of War, they sell gangbusters.
sold
I mean,
really
they even did
well
it with
for
that
their
Harry
series.
Potter game. So.
Yeah. So I mean, they could totally do that, and
But that's
it
not
would-
Metroid. That's
No,
like
but
like when
first
everyone's
person
saying
Metroid
like,
wasn't Metroid either. Like
It's
to
true.
me, like when they went first person on that was the first Prime game, right?
yeah,
It was
GameCube,
first person.
Metroid Prime, yeah.
You know, I was just like Metroid's 2D. It's like a 2D
Mhm.
Metroidvania type game. You know, that's where those games need.
But
to
that was the
come
thing, like the exploration aspect was still in there in Prime with the scanning stuff and everything.
Yeah.
That's what I really liked. And the atmosphere, I feel that the Prime series like nailed, like even better than Super Metroid, which we've talked about as our favorite
Yeah.
Super Nintendo game. The Prime series like elevates it to the next level, and part of that isolation is like the fact that you're not always in firefights.
Yeah,
Which is why when you
sometimes
say
you're just
like
exploring.
third person cover based,
Well, but I mean, that,
projectile vomiting. over here.
maybe it would be more like a Ratchet and Clank type shooter. You know, where
I
you
still
get a
think
little
that's
bit.
even a little too actiony. Like
Yeah.
it has to be kind of a like I look at Metroid as like almost the
Or
first
just do
survival.
a straight up 2D, like a 2-dimensional, but it's still 3D polygons and stuff. Do
like
one
they
of
did
those.
with the Castle of Illusion game for
Yeah,
the 3DS.
exactly.
But like me, I like thinking that Metroid, which I have back here, Metroid for the NES. I'm not gonna reach back there.
No, don't
but
go for it.
I feel like it's the first survival horror game.
Okay, maybe.
Like that total isolation and like not knowing where you're going and like having to remember things and like even all the way down to like having to get certain items to unlock certain areas, certain keys and stuff. Like
you have to get an ability to get past this thing. Or
like that's why like I think Symphony of the Night is so amazing because it distills that huge maze fear of mine into a Castlevania game, and then Metroid does that in all the Metroid games. So when you say third person cover based shooter Metroid, I just
your face wants to explode. It would be an interesting idea.
They already did it to Resident Evil. Don't do it to Metroid.
I think it would bring in, and this is what we've been talking about with Nintendo, is it needs to bring in some new consumers. New consumers.
Yeah,
if you were to make a third person shooter version of Metroid, I think some of your people who are not going to buy an Xbox One may go to Nintendo and be like, well, this might work, and then they would just use the Pro controller or whatever it is because why not?
Well, let's okay. Since we're on this subject, so we're kind of getting into what we feel Nintendo did wrong.
Yeah,
and that's like we said it before. Like Nintendo's no longer talking to people that are not their audience.
Well, yeah, and they need
like Nintendo is like, here's our fanboys. We're going to talk to them. Like, what do you guys want? You want Villager and Animal Crossing? Okay, there you go. Like, here's a new Mario game because you guys will buy it. Here's a new Smash Brothers because you guys will buy it.
Here's a remade Zelda game because we know that'll sell.
Like, here's that Zelda game that you liked last time again. Like, and I feel a lot of that undercurrent of going back to their audience over and over again and kind of dealing with that niche is starting to hurt. It's starting to hurt Nintendo really bad.
Well, I mean, they're not drawing in any more consumers, and they really need to.
Like I've been saying since like 1997 that there needs to be a Link to the Past 2.
And they made it.
It needs to be a top-down Mario, top-down Zelda game. Like I will buy it. I will give you my money, Nintendo. I bought a Game Boy Advance for that reason. I bought Minish Cap, all that stuff. And then they come back and they're like, okay, we found a full console. Like, this is a portable version. It's not full console, but this is a portable version. Link to the Past 2. And I really do like the title. That Link Between Two Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good title.
It kind of, like, nods to, like, this is Link to the Past, guys. Past. But the problem is, when I looked at screenshots of that game, and then when I saw it in their little press briefing, Nintendo Direct, it's so similar looking that I don't want to play it.
You don't. Well,
like all their little previews, all they've made me do is like, oh, I need to go back and play Link to the Past because I really liked that game.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't played Link to the Past, I'd probably feel differently. I'd probably be like, wow, that looks amazing. Like,
yeah, it does. I mean, it looks really good, and it totally has that feel of, hey, this is a Link to the Past sequel because, it's the same top down, and Andy's Ninja Turtle class. It's the same top down, kind of gameplay style. Hell, it's the same world map.
Yeah, that's the one thing that has been bothering me the whole time. It's like every time I see video or screenshots, I'm like, oh, I know where that is.
Yeah, I know exactly where you are on that world map.
You scratch underneath that bush and there's a
tunnel or something. Yeah. And it looks interesting.
Pick up that rock.
That game in particular looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's not enough to make me want to buy a 3DS though, right?
Yeah, that's been kind of the big thing is that like they showed a lot of stuff, but they didn't show anything that like grabbed. I think people that are not already there.
That don't already have a Nintendo system in their house for whatever reason.
Like I think that's kind of why Nintendo didn't do a press conference because they didn't have a megaton as we always talk about.
Yeah, they didn't have a ton of news. They didn't have anything really big to show. They just had, hey, we got all these games. You guys like games, right? So here's a bunch of games. So Nintendo does what Nintendo does. I'm sure they'll be around for a while.
Don't be scared if you have a Wii U. Congratulations.
There's stuff coming.
There's stuff you're going to want to play.
You're part of the 1%. The 1% of gamers who bought a Wii U.
I wouldn't say it's 1%. Anyway,
it's like 12.
But I just think Nintendo didn't. I think Nintendo's on once again their own wavelength and didn't really care to play the E3 game and with the megatons and get people like super hyped because either they couldn't or they just didn't want to try.
Yeah.
So
they knew they didn't have the news to compete with Microsoft and Sony.
Yes.
And all
so
those guys.
Through the entire week of E3, we kind of kept up with these things. So
as best as we could.
Yeah. What letter grade would you give to Nintendo? Like A+ is like I have to go out and buy this thing right now.
I want to go pre-order this, or I want to go buy this right now.
You guys did not mess up at all.
I'd say they didn't have a conference, right? They didn't have a big show. Yeah. They had a huge booth, from what I understand.
Yes, they did.
I looked at the layouts.
Apparently, their booth was bigger than the other two booths.
Well, size always matters, right? I don't know. I would say they probably are. They passed. They got like a C, just because they showed up. They brought us a bunch of games. They got they're games that we wanted, right?
Yep.
We wanted a new 3D Mario. We wanted some news on the new Zelda, the new again Zelda, and the new 3DS Zelda. They brought back Donkey Kong Country. If you like Donkey Kong Country, that's great. Dixie Kong's back. The Smash Brothers thing with Mega Man. I hope, was that the big thing that Capcom was teasing? Or
I
was
think
that,
so.
Oh, well, that's kind of disappointing then. But you get Mega Man in a Smash Brothers game, and that's
I just want a flat out Mega Man game.
Yeah,
Give me
give me a new Mega Man. Maybe not Mega Man Legends 3, but
Okay,
something.
so I'm a little bit more kind than Dave. I would say that it's a B, maybe a B minus.
Okay.
Because they chose their battle.
Yeah, they knew that they couldn't hang with the big boys.
Yeah, the battle they fought very well. Like they're only getting docked from that A grade of like making your fans happy and getting people excited. They're only getting docked because they didn't do a press conference.
Yeah, I mean,
and because once again, like I feel like their whole strategy is we're just going to talk to the people that we're already talking to.
Yeah.
So.
Which it's good that they're communicating with their fans more, and I really wish that.
And they get bonus points for that Best Buy thing, even though I didn't get to go out to it because I can't drive anywhere.
Yeah, well, and it was way the hell out in Overland Park, and
but they get press conference for once again like reaching out to people and trying to be like
and that's a really cool idea, right? Like the whole you can test out all our Wii U and 3DS stuff at your Best Buy.
Not as many game bonus points as I wanted to give them because I thought they were just gonna like set up kiosks and let them stay there for the whole week instead of like being like you have to show up between these hours.
Oh, really? That's how it was? I thought it was like
you had to show up between like
6 and 5.
Yeah,
or something.
3 and 8 and stuff.
Oh, that's goofy.
So I was like,
that's kind of dumb.
But so I would say B minus.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so don't forget to spay new to your Pokemon, and we didn't hear anything about Pokemon. That's weird. But speaking of Pokemon,
there was a little blurb about something
Pokemon
about
X and Y, new fairy type Pokemon. How did I forget that? Anyway, this week or this month, Yoshi for the Nintendo, which is also back here, is 30 cents on the Wii U. If you have a Wii U, go buy it. It's a wonderful puzzle game. It's a great time waster. I love it. It's one of my favorite on Nintendos.
Yep.
See ya.
I'll see you later.